No, the Earth is a globe. If it's a globe, everyone in Australia is walking around upside down, mate.
Fake news.
Fake news. Why doesn't the ocean just fall into the sky then?
Because gravity's bullshit.
People are so dumb.
They're so dumb.
Flat Earth expert Mark Sargent thinks the moon landing was a hoax.
Technically, the moon itself is a hoax.
Right, but betting with Sportsbet's new iPhone app?
I could do this standing on my head.
Thanks, Gravity. Sportsbet's new iPhone app. It's foolproof.
Hold on. I know how we're different. Do you believe the Earth is flat?
I know it's flat. I walk on it.
Holy sh**.
Do you think the Earth is flat, Snoop? What do you
It's a flat world after all.
Smoke weed every day.
It's good to see you. I must go. I know I will go.
Broadcasting straight to you from a large spaceship, currently at war with mainstream science. Meanwhile, the Peanut Gallery is watching in awe as more craziness gathers in this spectacular 2020 year. You'd think with it being 2020, we would have clear and focused vision on what's going on. Can't even figure out anything anymore. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Strange World, where the truth is often stranger in fiction. I'm your host, Mark Sargent, the creator of Flat Earth Clues, which propose that all of us are living inside a Truman Show enclosed structure, thousands of miles wide. Check it out at enclosedworld.com or just Google Flat Earth Clues. If you can't find it, well, you're just not very good at that whole internet business. For those of you listening to this on YouTube, you want to hear the show live as it happens, please go to Truth Frequency Radio for the latest schedule. Currently, the show is on Tuesday nights at 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern. And yes, Caroline, if it is not September 22nd, 2020, then you are listening to a rerun. Quote of the day goes exactly like this. If one morning I walked on top of the water across the Potomac River, the headline that afternoon would read, "The President Can't Swim." Who said that? Former President Lyndon B. Johnson. He was the guy that, by the way, replaced John F. Kennedy when he was killed. My co-host, she's sassy. She's always lethal. That was sort of musical. It's Karen B. What's going on, Karen?
Not a whole lot. Well, a lot, but not
Really?
at the moment. Just
it-
which is good.
Is it something you can talk about, or is this something off air type of deal?
No, well, no. I mean, I just been doing a lot of recording and streaming today. I recorded a show with Freeman Fly and James True and Jason Lindgren today, so that was fun.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. I did a I'm not sure if I'm going to post it yet. I recorded it. I did an interview with Japan's biggest newspaper.
Really?
Yeah. They had questions about the election, not necessarily about the virus, but about the election in general. And I don't know exactly why they were going my way. Hadn't even seen the documentary. They saw the article in Wired magazine, and they wanted to talk about it. And they also ended up calling David Weiss. Speaking of which, hey, Karen, do you know what the most interesting app in the world is right now?
I do.
I bet you do. It's the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. You know, if every flat earther either gifted or at least shared the FE Clock app with just one person every week, the entire world would know the Earth is flat in less than a year. Not that, we're going to live past much 2020, we only got a few months left. But you know what? It's the thought that counts. Watch the featured video every day for 2 weeks and see what happens. It'll be the best $2.99 you've ever spent. Before we get to our very special guest, who was not here last week because she slept through it, because she's a bad person. No, she's not a bad person. People understand that, like right now, it's only 7 o'clock on the West Coast, and it's 10 o'clock over in jolly old England, where Roxanne is, over near London. I've heard of London, right? It's a place. It's 3 a.m. So don't give her too hard a time. I don't know if she's going to make it all 4 segments. Honestly, she might as well just stay up because the sun's going to start coming up over there pretty soon. But before I bring her in, I'm going to bring her in just a second. So don't come on yet, Roxanne. Real quick, I get these handwritten letters every once in a while, and I got another handwritten letter from a guy named Floyd, and I got to read it. Anyone that scrawls, longhand a letter to me, and then signs it in human blood, it's absolutely got my attention. No, there's no human blood. But I want to read this. So here it is. To Mark King Rant Sargent. Hi, Mark. Thank you for the shout out on Strange World 267. More importantly, thank you for your, all caps, flat earth clues, your many rants, all caps, and giving freely of your time doing many interviews, spreading the FE message to the masses. Wishing you a successful and fun Flattoberfest. Ooh, we better talk about that real quick. In South Carolina. You would have gotten bonus points if you would have said South Kakalaki. Love always in Christ our Lord, Floyd. And underneath it's all caps. Stay flat. So yeah, real quick before we bring Roxanne in, what is happening next month, Karen?
Next month, Flattoberfest is happening.
Yay! Where is it? What's going to happen? And who's going to be there as far as you know?
It's going to be October 24th, 2020, which is a Saturday in Greenville, South Carolina. And the website is flattoberfest.com for anybody who's interested in going or is able to go. Who's going to speak and get tickets. So far, we've got Bob Nodell, Jason Lindgren, James True is going to be doing a presentation. Cammie and Zach are going to be having a How the World Works exhibit that will be up the entire day, so you can wander over there as you please. We're also going to have music. One Big Love Says they're going to play again. Dr. Law will be there doing back adjustments and cooking stir fry, and some other things are being lined up as well. Freeman and Fly is going to be there. In the crowd, Watson Atkinson, Richard Lopez, a bunch of other, people who've been in the community for quite a while are going to be there. So there's going to be lots of people to talk to in the in-between time, not just the speakers.
That sounds just wonderful. Mm-hmm. And who else might be there?
This very lovely, charming, handsome man named Mark Sargent is also going to be there.
You left out Dashing, but yes, I will be there. Thank you so much, Karen. Really, really great. Yes, also, I am.
DITRH is going to be there.
The who?
DITRH.
Oh, right, that guy. He's mysterious. He's like his own secret society, from what I understand. Don't trust him. Seriously, don't trust him. DRTRH, otherwise known as YouTube channel, Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, otherwise known as the notorious David Weiss. Not in any way related to Superior Court Justice Ginsburg, as far as I know. I am scheduled to be there. My flight is booked. I am going to be wearing a mask for the first time. By the way, the conference is mask-free. However, getting there by plane is not. So I will be wearing a mask in the meantime, where it's like, oh yeah, countries, it's contagious on planes in other countries, but not a single case of somebody getting from an airplane in the United States. Wow, what are the odds?
Mark, I really appreciate you making the sacrifice so that you can come to the event and be with the people and be with the tribe.
Hey, you had me at open bar. Wait, is there not an open bar?
There's going to be limited. I think I am going to do a limited open bar. Not going to do.
No, it's okay. No, it's totally fine. No, I was just no. Trust me, I was there once you. For you, Karen, of course, absolutely, I would do it. And again, no mask. That's the big thing. It's like you want. We are one of the few groups in the world that is doing a no mask conference, and I am partially hoping that the media does cover it, because I guarantee you they will advertise it as a super spreader event.
Yeah, totally.
And they'll say, like 12 people have died that are connected to the Flat Earth conference. I mean, seriously, that is a great thing to cover. Sturgis, come on, it's a biker conference. You're not going to get those guys to wear masks anyway.
Oh, they're going to blame the second wave on flat earthers.
I hope so. I really, really hope so.
You hope so?
I do. I do. You know me, all press is good press, and I want to see it. Bring it on. Bring it on. Blame us for everything. I mean, for God's sakes, we were in the social dilemma, the thing that's trending on Netflix now. Out of all the topics they could have brought up for fake news, what did they bring up? Multiple times. Flat Earth. Love it. I didn't even know. I just watched the thing blind. And I'm watching this, and the second I see Kyrie Irving on the screen, I'm just going, oh God, oh God, oh God. It's like, and I was like, and then I'm thinking, oh, please don't say me, please don't say me. I don't need it. All right, you know what? We are gonna guest. Remember, she was supposed to be here last week, but she was either abducted and or died and was resurrected. That's the only excuse I'm taking. She is from England. She has, I don't know if she has multiple YouTube channels, but she's huge in street activism. She was part of the Globli Euro tour last year.
Yes.
And the London conference.
Yes.
And she's doing massive street activism now. And she's got a new camera person and a new computer, from what I understand, that's like rocking the mic like a vandal. That's me being all street. Her name is Roxanne Glenn. Roxanne, are you there?
I am indeed, my darlings.
Hey,
all right,
look at that.
All right, me old muckers.
That's not even a fake accent, folks. We got culture here.
We have indeed, darling. Hello, Karen. Hello, Mark.
Oh, now you're just ham up. You're talking like a British longshoreman.
Howdy, Roxanne. How y'all doing?
I've got a nice cup of Rosie Lee here, and I'm wide awake.
Wow. And thank you, by the way, for getting up. I know it's 3:15 in the morning over there, but considering all the stuff that is happening in the UK right now, we would be we would be a poor show for not addressing it. Mm-hmm. So we haven't talked for a little while. You were on the show before a long time ago.
Yeah. A lot's happened since then. It's been a lot.
So what's 2020 been like for you? How's this thing kind of progressed? Kind of walk us through it.
Okay, so pretty much like everyone else, started the year thinking, 2020 is going to be my year, like everybody, new year, new me kind of aspect, and a couple of minutes and then international lockdown. From there on in, pretty much tried to hold down a live stream on a daily basis, gave myself a bit of structure. As you know, talking about most contentious topics, as I always have done. And then emerged out of the lockdown, maintaining going to Speaker's Corner, like I always have done, and turned up there and it was a bit of a ghost town, bit of a disappointment, really. Most of the people were either compliant or, just missed the boat on going to Speaker's Corner. However, we stumbled across another set of people who had taken it upon themselves to really stand up and speak out off the back of the biggest disinformation campaign to hit mankind in modern history, other than the globe being a lie. Yeah. And with that being said, we've jumped from April to now, and just witnessed nearly 40,000 people turning up into London at the end of last month to stand up and take their freedom back.
Wow. So we should probably back up just a little bit, because a lot of people in the United States just don't understand, because we don't, the United States, you know who we are. We don't cover a lot of international stuff unless it directly affects us. The UK, the sanctions on the UK, outside of maybe Australia, have been some of the most strict I've ever seen. So you guys, they're cracking down on you guys way harder than they are down in the States. Am I right?
They are indeed. They are indeed. They've cracked down so much so that just over the weekend, we witnessed the police completely violating their oath and actually, violating the Human Rights Act by detaining people in the way that they did. It was a peaceful protest. We multiple times side by side images of how the police have behaved, not just images, actually videos of how the police have behaved at Antifa, BLM rallies, and how the police have behaved at freedom rallies with peaceful protesters. So yeah, it's been a lot, and just over the weekend it ramped up massively. We realised that the days of peaceful protesting here are over, and that the police are willing to engage with people, peaceful protesters. So this weekend's going to be a very interesting weekend, because they've just brought in the 6-person rule, and they've also implemented a few more bits and pieces which are on paper there to prevent people from their civil liberties.
So the 6-person rule, because I was looking through your streaming thing that you did today with Anthony, and I'm sorry, I forgot the name of the gentleman who was sitting next to you. Jimmy.
Yes.
Where you guys kind of have a DEF CON system. But it's the opposite of like United States DEF CON, because the United States is like, if you get to DEF CON 1, well, you're launching the birds.
Right.
But over there, it starts at 1. 1, and it's weird. It's not 0. 1 means nothing's happening.
Right.
And you just went from 3 to 4, and 5 being the highest. Yeah. And the 6-person rule basically is, doesn't take a genius. If you're gathering in groups of more than 6, the police can break you up.
Correct. And that's what we saw at St James's Park over the weekend after the day's events on Saturday at Trafalgar Square leading down to Downing Street. We saw Gazer Fragman getting detained. Again, police violating their oath there outside Downing Street. And then afterwards, lots of different pockets of the bigger group took themselves to St James's Park and again did their oath again. And there was a bit of a scene at St James's Park. None of the protesters were anything but peaceful. Everything was calm. It was the police that moved the goalposts, not to a different pitch, to another realm.
So over here, obviously the BLM and the Antifa protests have a kind of a different nature. It's peaceful during the day, kind of, but as soon as the sun goes down, they just start lighting fires. Over there, you guys seem to be doing more of the traditional protests, where, you have sit-ins and people really weren't fighting the police for a while. But as you can imagine, things, over time, the pressure cooker just started getting inched up. And it sounds like people have kind of had it. The patience has run out.
Yeah, and very much so. With England itself, with the UK being a much smaller country size-wise, those kind of pockets of Soros-funded individuals are much bigger fish in a much smaller pond over here. So they're not getting as much room to create such havoc. But just over the last few days, the NHS and various councils across the UK are talking about wildfires over here and to pack a bag.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw that. It almost looked like an American warning. When I saw it, it's like, why are you guys talking about a bug out bag over in England?
So we all know. Yeah, we all know it's not climate, it's arson. So as soon as Prince Andrew, no, not Prince Andrew, we won't discuss him. Prince Charles, Charles was starting to say, we've got to be very aware of climate, and this country suffers, forest fires as a result of climate change. It's like, no. You mean the arsonists are coming in? And then just over the last 24 hours, we've had a fracas base in Wales where the army have gone toe to toe with the police. Just witnessed it before joining this, just watched it. And they've gone toe to toe with the police outside the army barracks, where the police are trying to force their way into the army barracks. And looks like the army have gone toe to toe with them with a bunch of protesters that are outside. Can't quite ascertain if those protesters are partners or local residents, because there were some local residents saying they're not their street, not that, like, you're not going in there. And they were using a police van, reversing the police van with an arrow of police officers at the back of the van, and they were inching it towards the line of people. And there was a woman right there on the front line. She had her hands up, she had flip-flops on and leggings, and they were ploughing into them. I mean, that's just literally just gone online within the last 20 hours. And that's in. There's a pocket in North Wales that's actually been put on a lockdown, and you're not allowed to leave the area unless deemed absolutely necessary. I think they're deeming that either for medical purposes or for work. But things are progressing over here at warp speed, so much so that even people that are on it are struggling to keep up. And I don't mean mentally, I mean physically keep up. I don't know if you know, the COVID-19 Truth Tour has made a massive amount of progress across the country. They've been doing really good work across the country, and I sadly witnessed 2 individuals from the tour yesterday getting detained by the police in Newcastle. Anthony's been tracking these as well and speaking to as many people as possible, and it doesn't seem like anyone is actually being charged. They're being released, either pending further investigation, or, as Jimmy says today, it's literally just for show. Some people are getting turned around within the hour. So
that's so odd. That's so strange. Are you seeing sort of the same things of, and forgive me if I'm using American terms, like the supermarkets, gaps in the supermarkets? Are you seeing any weird shortages of anything still? And also curious about the schools. What's happening over there with schools?
So not so much so with the supermarkets yet. At the moment, they're just trying to enforce social distancing. I can't really call it social distancing, so I'm going to say anti-social distancing. Yeah. They're trying to enforce that as and where they can. In the last 24 hours, the shops in my local area have now been told by the local police liaison officers that as of Saturday, they will be fined by the local council if they permit to keep serving people without masks on. So the new remit over here in London is no mask, no service. I spoke to an individual who had COPD, a local resident outside the shop the other day, who was refused service. He can't put on the mask. He can barely breathe without a mask on. And he was refused service. He had to leave the premises, and it was not a pretty scene. People were shocked, actually, and the shop owner was saying it was only that day that the police, and the shop owner genuinely looked fearful. So they obviously came in heavy-handed and, had maybe said, can take your license to sell alcohol away. This is people's livelihoods they're playing about with.
Wow.
So, yeah, at the moment, they're trying to ramp it up. Sadiq Khan is moving like Kumo and trying to play God of London and just speak things into existence, as well as Matt Hancock. These people just seem to think by saying things, it becomes law.
Yeah. And again, a huge chunk of the population, especially over here, they go with it. If the news says it, and if your governor, forget about the president, if the local state governors say it, if they say, oh, here's a mandate. Well, the mandate's not a law. It happened. A lot of the businesses are scared of the legal exposure. And so they just go along with it. And then the people's like, well, you've seen it. We went from a population that was, once you hit a certain part of the population where the non-mask wearers are in the minority, people want to fit in. And so they just wear masks. And even though I talked to a whole bunch of people, they even come by here to do various things. Like, you don't have to wear a mask in here. It's like, oh, thank God, and vendors will, just rip their masks off.
Yeah.
So, that is just terrible. I also heard that they were, I don't know if they were proposing or they were going to do it. There was a running joke that they were going to close down pubs and or restaurants that serve alcohol at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, that's not a joke or a rumor. That's happening.
And the memes where it's like, okay, so the virus only works during business hours?
Didn't you know that?
The virus doesn't work during business hours. it's perfectly, nothing happens during then.
It's the
but
modern day vampire. It only comes out at night.
yeah,
And it likes to be invited in, of course. It likes to be, used by people that believe in it, like, come on in, come on in. And also weddings. That's a new one that was told to us today. Apparently, if you're getting if you're having a wedding from here on in, 15 people, because 16 people means COVID.
No.
So 15, choose your 15. We're not sure if that 15 includes the bride and groom, or if that's the bride and groom plus 15.
Oh my God.
No.
Oh my God. Are most of the schools, be it universities or I don't know what you call them over there, primary, secondary, are they doing virtual learning, or like over here, some of the universities are opening kind of, but not really, because all you have to do is pretend that you say, oh, this particular university now had a flurry of classes again. Are you seeing the same thing over there?
Yeah, ish, kind of, sorta. Remote learning is applicable in certain cases. My daughter's in sixth form at the moment. So, yeah, it's a bit of a circuit break at the moment. There's talk of schools being put back to remote learning in a couple of weeks, but there's no confirmation of that as of yet. But, yeah, it's a bit ad hoc at the moment. There's some schools that are fully back. There's some schools that are staggered. Myself, I've pulled my youngest out, and I'm now homeschooling him. So it's only one left at sixth form.
Good for you. That's awesome. So maddening. And before we got 90 seconds to the break, the first break anyway. You want to stay with us for the second segment?
Yes, please.
You're probably thinking, you wanker, you didn't get me up.
You said it. I was wondering if you were going to, you know what? I was going to say, listen, are you actually going to say it? Like, tell everyone what I would have been if I hadn't turned up.
Oh, yeah. I threatened Roxanne, basically. I said, if you don't, I'm going to spend the first hour of the show basically calling you a wanker. But then I thought, wait a minute, can you call a woman, which sometimes called a bird over in England, a wanker? And I wasn't sure. So whatever. Again, British people are weird.
I'm proud to not be a wanker. I'm proud to not be a wanker. I'm here.
Hey, Roxanne, do you think that there's parallels going on between the UK and Australia right now? Because I was just watching Australia, that mongoloid looking dude. What's his name? I don't know his name, but the dude with the glasses. And he's sitting there talking about how people can be forcibly treated and that they can use it as a mental excuse.
They're going that way here. Yeah. Complete parallel, babe. A complete parallel. Yeah.
Insanity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Conspiracy theorists are mentally unstable, didn't you know?
Real people, real radio. Wherever you are, make it TFR. Truth Frequency Radio.
Strange World. I'm your host. And that's Karen over there. And that was Joe Jackson stepping out from his album Night and Day. Yeah. So remember, this weekend got the Monster Truck Rally, and then next week's show we will have the world's fourth fastest banjo player. But
no, that's the gun show.
Don't forget, if you're gonna pick up some tickets,
NAF show.
I got 2 tickets to the gun show right here. And Peanut Gallery says your accent sucks, but we got some culture on this program. A girl from way over in England. I've never been myself, but because that whole Revolutionary War thing. It's Roxanne Glenn. Hey, Roxanne.
Hello, mate.
You
right,
can
Mark?
you know
You're
all
right,
the
Karen?
accents. I'm sorry, what?
I said, you're right, Mark. You're right, Karen.
You know all the accents. What's the fun one you and I talked about this once. What's the fun one where they kind of sound like pirates?
Wow, you put me on the spot with that one.
No. Well, you don't. You know which one? I mean, there's a whole bunch of different dialects over there, but there's one where it's really exaggerated. They do them in a lot of 1800 movies, and I think even in some of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. That's all right.
Talking about like Hockney or whatever. What is it called?
Cockney.
Cockney.
Is it
that what
Cockney?
it is?
That's like a London accent, like an East London accent. I'm not sure that's the one that you guys.
That's not where the pikeys are though.
one.
Those are different.
Oh, you mean like an Irish accent? No.
Maybe it's an Irish accent. Anyway, it's all right. I don't have to put you on the spot. I know it's early where you are. I'm not trying to freak you out. There was millions of people, but most of them have died from the virus. There's something I wanted to read to you real quick because Peanut Gallery loves sending me stuff. And he said, from the News of Medical Life Sciences, experts warn that COVID-19 cases in the UK could reach 50,000 per day. You've probably seen this one. Let's see. Second wave. The Prime Minister, Boris, what's-his-face, said that Britain is entering a second wave of the virus. Scientists express fears, blah, 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 many dying. Cases are skyrocketing by 4,000 a day. And basically, they're just going to start burning houses with families inside them to sort of purge the whole thing. Can you comment on this one way or the other?
So just say the last part of that again. Purge.
I was making that up. The areas affected by the pandemic, particularly parts of the Northwest, the Midlands, and Yorkshire. And then strict lockdown in March, blah, blah. Rule of 6. Yep. Whether these are held. Now, this is the part that pisses me off.
Mm-hmm.
The rule of 6 applies whether you're indoors or outdoors.
Outdoors. Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah.
So do you have people, have you heard of cases where, there's people inside a house that are getting ratted out by their neighbors?
Not yet, but this is only new. Remember, this is only new. We've only just been in this for a little minute. So give people time to snitch.
Yeah. And again, it doesn't make sense. However, Matt Handcock, really, his name's Handcock? Wow.
Well, we've got some names for them. Yeah. Yeah.
You don't even have to make up a name for him.
Yeah. It's just staring us right in the face, isn't it? It is. It's an unfortunate name. What are the chances?
How is it the rule of 6 if they use the metric system? That's what keeps bothering me. I don't know why. So dumb.
Oh, and Peanut Calorie says, what if you have two parents, but you have 5 kids? Technically, that's 7 people. It's like, yeah, but I think that's in the same family. So that's fine.
You can. It's called a bubble.
Ah, got it.
Call it bubbles. You can bubble up with another house.
But this, the health secretary, Hancock, said that the restrictions this time will be different since many schools and workplaces will remain open. So this is just for private residences, and whether you think it's being done to stem protesting, or do you think there's something else to it?
That's pretty obvious at this point. Yeah.
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 Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well,
I think they've said enough's enough in the streets.
Yeah, but they don't get to say that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They don't get to say that.
Correct, Karen.
It's up to them what we do.
Correct.
Yep. Very, very true.
It's true.
I'm reading if there's anything else here that's, let's say, mid-November. Yeah, you guys, we're in, it's just getting worse and worse. So what was the last thing what was the big rally that, you sent me some screenshots of people big mass. What was that?
Yeah, that was literally just Saturday, just gone, the 19th. There were a host of learned individuals, doctors, whistleblowers that all came out talking about this disinformation campaign that is being rolled out. There's a lot of people that are saying it's politically based because of the American elections. This international disinformation campaign has been designed to, as crazy as this sounds, to create the narrative for mail-in votes. Mail-in votes, does that make sense to you guys in America?
Yeah, we've heard a few things about mail-in votes recently, yeah.
Yeah, so apparently that's so that they can say a day after Trump wins that, you know, there must be some, you know, discrepancies with the votes and some people haven't registered but they voted and and then they're going to push, you know, Anarchy 99 playbooks and riots and all sorts. But the rest of the world will just be watching going, wow, and there's a pandemic going on, guys.
Wow.
It's laughable, isn't it?
Meanwhile, all of it is show. All
Yeah.
of it is fake.
Yeah. The whole thing. Biggest disinformation campaign known to modern history.
Incredible. Incredible. So before we jump into some of the phone calls, because I'm sure there's some people out there who would love to talk to you, and we have a bunch. What's the next big? So the stream you did today with oh crap, I keep forgetting his Jim. Was his name Jim?
Yep.
Yeah.
Jim.
Yay! Because I'm really
Good
terrible with
job.
names, so that's a victory for me. So Anthony and Jim, you did today was more on the legal issues, on kind of what you were thinking, what you're kind of recommending to people, you know, what the police rights are and what you can do moving forward when you come up against them.
Yep. Yeah. So I can go through that with you just now.
Yeah, please.
We went through that. Yeah, we went through that this afternoon. And that is basically just bringing people up to speed with why we are able to go out in the way that we are able to go out. As I've already explained, the rule of six is come in, and as I said, they've moved a couple of goalposts into another realm. But yeah, the rule of six. We have been discussing about how we as individuals can empower ourselves in this situation, be it that we're peaceful protesters and we are going out there to exercise our freedom of speech. The particular document that we were going through is something that Sleeping Warriors put together, and we discussed it at length. I'll go through a little bit of this with you now, but by the time we get to Saturday, and this will be a foregone conclusion, by the time we get to Saturday, the notice will have already been served on Gold Command and Silver Command, and it will then be legally served on the officers that are there at the time, the constables. The oath says that they will uphold fundamental human rights and accord equal respect to all people according to law. Article 11 on the Convention of Human Rights, freedom of assembly and association, states that everyone has the right to freedom of peaceful assembly and to freedom of association with others, and that no restrictions shall be placed on the exercise of these rights other than such as are prescribed. And these very, very, very important points are by law and are necessary, proportionate, lawful and necessary, basically, in a democratic society in the interest of public safety. This is the point where the police officers are probably going to try and have us in a corner, because they will basically assume that we think that that's the be all and end all of it, but actually that's not the be all and end all of it.
Okay.
Article 11 of the Human Rights Act 1998, and we would then ask them to respectfully consider their position and put down their shields. This is the rights of every man, woman and child. We are allowed to peacefully protest, and small pockets of intentional disturbances by agents of the state or Soros funded that try to make us look violent does not make us violent. And I would urge anyone to go and have a look at the video. And if you have any questions, pop a question in the comments section. We've put this for all the UK residents to read in the description. You can copy and paste that. You can print that off yourself. And if you are going to this public gathering in London on the weekend, I would urge you to arm yourself with the correct information so that you don't get caught in the mix.
Well said. Wonderful. Yeah, you guys did a great presentation on that earlier. I love the fact that Anthony's books were gigantic behind him. And no, he went through it about as well as anybody could, and having that sort of information extremely helpful because some of the police know it word for word, and some of them don't.
Right.
And they always seem to hesitate, take a step back if the person they're dealing with knows what they're talking about, because part of the police job, people don't understand it. And trust me, I'm not necessarily ripping on the cops because it's part of their job, but part of the policeman's job, at least over in the United States, is to lie to you, is deception. They are allowed to do that. They will bluff you every chance they get, especially for people who don't know the law. They will try to trick you into giving up more than, trick you into helping them. That's why over here, we have the when you read someone their rights, right? The first one, literally, they tell you this. First one over here, we all heard this a million times. The right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Basically, the police saying, if you shut up, you're actually going to be in better shape than not shutting up. But then they follow that up with, so tell us everything, right? It's great. There isn't an attorney here in this entire country. They all say the same thing, which is like, yeah, never ever talk to law enforcement without an attorney present. And yet, even in our TV shows, because you have to keep the plot going, you put people in an interrogation room. And in fact, if I ever get a chance to go in an interrogation room, I'm going to say, I've got a guy sitting across from me, and I'd be like, wow, where's that third chair? It's like, what third chair? The one where my attorney's supposed to be? Where is he? Because you never see that in television. Anyway,
exactly. No, I think at this stage, be it how messy it is out there, and I'm sure it is for those of you that live in America as well. I'm sure there is pockets of paid operatives causing madness. I've seen enough videos of the destruction that's going across your country. It's horrendous. I've seen the arsonists getting arrested for the so-called climate change California fires that just have been set ablaze by individuals. I've also seen source material pertaining to the paid operatives, volunteer fire marshals setting fire and holding up Antifa flags and taking pictures of themselves.
Would not surprise me in the slightest.
Yeah.
Not at all. I mean, people over here, the news media just report, it's like, oh yeah, look, fires in basically the entire West Coast of the United States. And it's like, wow, really? People immediately, and of course, it stunned me that they tried to blame that on climate change, where the articles saying, yeah, and there'll be more of these to come. I'm going, we've gotten to that future dystopia thing where lightning's just striking randomly on entire swaths of the United States, thousands of miles. Come on. Come on. Not buying it.
It's beyond farcical now, and I really feel that these things are being done to knee-jerk people out of a deep slumber, because it's staring people in the face now. It's not even being hidden. Yeah. But unfortunately, I think your president said the other day, he said the scientists don't even know what they're talking about. When he was asked, he was put on the block, and he went, no, I don't think they know what they're talking about anymore.
Yeah, don't get me started there, because, in 40-something days, we're going to start a whole new odyssey, which will happen a week after the wonderful Flattoberfest, which will be the last bastion of sanity in this entire year. At least over the United States. And then after that, we have the election, which will be a circus of unparalleled proportions. Seriously, I will have tubs of popcorn just ready,
the rest of the world will as well, Mark. The thing is, because the deep state cabal don't want to let go, the whole entire earth is being brought to a standstill because of the elections in America.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard the cliche saying many times, which is, if America sneezes, the rest of the world catches a cold.
Correct. But if America falls, we all fall.
Yeah. America has been this linchpin for the last 10 years, and I don't want to get into it too much right now. You guys have heard my rants before, but it's something I have said for a while now. And there was a financial guy over here that quit NBC. His name was Dylan Ratigan. If you want to look up a rant, look up the Dylan Ratigan rant from the financial crash of 2008, where he said, look, I've been he goes, this is my life. This is what I do. And I'm watching the United States being extracted. And the reason is because America has always been this rebel, bully, good guy, bad guy country that doesn't go along with anybody else. And so you have to take care. If you and I'm not trying to be mean or weird when I say this, or try to say this in a light way, but if you're trying to create a new world order, you can't do it with America as it is now. It cannot be done. America, no different. Karen and I have talked about this before, like the metric system. Yeah, I know both of you aren't old enough to remember when the metric system was put into place, but when they tried it over here, we were having none of it. Yeah, the metric system is like, no, we'll take the inch and the pound and the yard. It's like that metric system, that's for Europeans with their high fashion and fancy cheeses. That's not for us. And so you're absolutely right. We're the holdout. And once America, we're being shredded right now. And yet the media keeps saying, I mean, I'm reading these articles about how great things are going. I read a new one today that actually household net worth is up over here by like 11 or 12%. I'm going, what are you talking about? I know people that are buying the most generic food you can at the grocery stores for the first times in their lives.
Yeah.
Because they're running out of money for food type stuff. Families, I never ever would have thought that. And so, anyway,
it seems that the fifth column will end up being done for treason after this. The fourth branch or fifth column, whatever you want to call it, will get done for treason. There will be anchors for news stations being put in the docks, as well as, the deep set in characters.
The ones that can, sure. As you know, though, there's still some out there that are, I shouldn't say bullet, money talks. And there's still some people that can, if you have a battery of attorneys, you can still slow down that process a great deal. But yeah, of course. I mean, I have never seen so many over here in the States, not necessarily on your side, but over in the States, a number of celebrities, and especially people in journalism that have just, over here, it's unfortunate because when they go down, it's very, very quick.
Celebrities, even rich business tycoons like Epstein, he Houdini'd himself.
Yeah.
He had so much money, he Houdini'd himself, because we all know he never killed himself.
Well, but you don't think that Epstein killed himself? You think he disappeared?
I think.
Well, okay. Well, if that's the case, not that I'm necessarily I'm open to it. I'm flat Earth. I can't shoot you down. So Maxwell, who may or may not be over here in the States in some sort of black site, we haven't heard much since she was detained. And then I was half expecting that she would resurface just before the election and say something, but we haven't heard anything along those lines. It's been kind of quiet along that front. Whatever.
It's all a show. Popcorn already.
Let's do this before we go to our first break, and then we'll take a couple calls and we'll talk a little bit more about other stuff. Let's grab the first one. This person's been on hold for an hour. Let's do 360. Well, that's because I'm so popular. No, it's Karen. It's Karen's show basically. I'm just Karen's sitting there pitting grapes and being fanned with feathers from an ostrich.
Love it.
Right.
You go, girl.
Seriously. Hey, 360, are you there? Are you in my neck of the woods?
Of course I'm here. Where else would I be? This is the Party Central.
This is a girl who used to work at Amazon before she had some cultural differences, from what I understand. And now you are looking for work. True?
Yes, I'm still looking for work, and it's been let's just say shit show level 6 million. Like it's beyond a nightmare trying to find work in this stupid world. So I still am selling my domes, Dottie's Wonder Domes 1111 at gmail.com. They're flat earth paperweights, and they're very awesome. So, yeah, I'm still trying to get to Flattoberfest, so you can email me for my domes, and I'll send you some. And, but looking for work in this world where I'm trying not to wear a mask it's beyond a nightmare. Like,
if you're going to qualify
okay.
with not wearing a mask, that makes it exponentially harder. Yeah, more power to you. Don't get me wrong. Say it again,
I
Doug.
found a cool job at the casino. Asked if I could bring in a doctor's note for a medical exemption, and they said, yeah, but you still have to wear a mask. And I was like, well, I'm not going to be able to work for you then. So, yeah.
That sucks. Sorry about that, Dottie. And yeah, it's rough out there. I have a tough time. I have gotten such an aversion, kind of like when I see a globe, because I'm every flat earther. If you get into it long enough, you develop a super hyper sense of seeing a globe on a screen somewhere, like in a movie or a television show, and you realize how many globes are inserted into scenes. But now I'm starting to do that with masks, because there's so many more commercials now, or at least over here in the States, that have people wearing masks, extra safe. It's like, oh, I want to kill you. And sporting events, I can't watch them.
I mean, even newscasters are wearing, they're reporting the news and they're wearing a mask, and you can barely hear them because they're so muffled. And it's just like, what is wrong with you? And
what was that, Karen?
I said I can't understand anybody with those masks on. It's ridiculous trying to talk to people with those things on.
Yeah, the masks take out the entire high end of the audio spectrum. It takes out all the crispiness of it. And so if you have a person that doesn't have a lot of crispiness to begin with, you have they come off really, really muffled, and it's tough. I mean, I watched Pete Keller
here and did the show with a mask on.
Oh God, it'd be awful.
Hey, Mark. How's it going?
Yeah, you're absolutely. We had a football coach over here get fined $100,000 because he couldn't make it through the first quarter without. He was wearing a neck gaiter, which I'm a big fan of. If you have to go out and you can get away with neck gaiters, great. And he kept pulling it down, and the NFL said, "Sorry, you have to set a good example for all the sheep out there."
Yeah.
And he was fined $100,000 for it. So yeah. And they said, if you do it again, we're just going to keep upping that fine. It's like, bastards.
$100,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Well,
managed
he gets
to
paid
be.
a lot. Go ahead.
Yeah, but still.
I know.
I've managed to be basically invisible in most places that I go into, because obviously I'm not going to wear a mask. Well, I went into IKEA the other day, and I got in, no problem. I wandered around the top floor, and then I went back downstairs to use the restroom. I was just trying to go for a walk in some place that wasn't smoky, because it was still super smoky over here then.
Yeah.
Well, I get back upstairs, and I was literally verbally harassed by 3 employees who worked at IKEA, and I ended up leaving the store because I tried to say no, I have a medical exemption, I can't wear one. They're like, you need to stay here while we call someone else to deal with you. And I was just like, bring them over. I don't give a shit what you think. And yeah, and literally 3 employees harassed me, and I was just like, guys, I can leave. I'm not going to buy anything. I'm just walking around trying to get a walk-in that's not in some place that's smoky and trying to kill me. And I was like, but I can leave. I don't need anything here. All your stuff is crap. And I don't need your harassment either. And then I was thinking, as I was leaving, I should have made more of a scene, no, let me speak to your hire manager or whatever. But I'm like, what is it going to do? I just don't even care. I'm not giving them my money. And I'm I just wanted to walk around and look at crap. And I'm by myself, not invading anybody's space, totally respecting. I'm I don't want to be near anybody. And no, harassed by 3 grown men, which 2 of them, they were such small, weak little men that you can't even actually call them men. I could have probably slapped them and they would have folded like a piece of paper. So, I mean, grown men is a strong word to call them. But yeah, it's absurd that harassment is now acceptable because these idiots think they're so high and mighty and oh, look at this lone white woman in a store. I can go and harass her and tell her what I think. I don't care what you think.
I hear you, Dottie. Hey, Dottie, we're going to break. So we'll talk to you soon, okay?
Okay, bye, John. It's the one.
I think his zipper stuck.
think Dottie didn't like those people in the store.
Also, Roxanne is still here.
Truth Frequency Radio is your number.
You must unite what has been set asunder.
We are TFR, Truth Frequency Radio.
Welcome back to Strange World, part 3 of 4. It's you, me, Karen B, and Roxanne Glenn from the UK. Roxanne, are you still with us?
I am indeed, my darling.
Wonderful. What kind of tea are you having?
I'm having Clipper organic tea.
Oh, well then. I like tea too, but I know you guys you do a different tea than like what's happens down in Karen's neck of the woods, where you actually have to boil in more sugar because you can't actually dissolve the sugar in at room temperature.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you never had that?
No, I just have a proper cup of British tea.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's straight up science.
I don't drink tea like that, by the way.
What, you don't like sweet?
They do make ridiculously sweet tea here in the South.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how much sugar is actually in sweet tea. I had a chance to get my lips around it back in 2000, and they said no, we actually make it with extra sugar. And it's like, really? And it's like, yeah, sure.
Wow. Like a cup and a half in sugar. Be like a cup and a half of sugar in a pitcher of sweet tea.
Yeah, it's something.
Yeah.
So before we we got a few more callers to grab. Before we do that, though, Roxanne, what's the thing you're doing next?
Right. Next up is this Saturday. I'm gonna go down to not Speaker's Corner, to Trafalgar Square, for the We Do Not Consent mass rally. And that's going to be before the 6-month review of the Coronavirus Act 2020. Guest speakers include Gareth Icke, David Icke, and many, many more. That's going to be from 12 p.m. Saturday, the 26th. And yeah, I'm going to go down there and going to speak to as many people as possible, going to film as much of it as possible. I'm going to try and go live if I can. But if not, I'm going to go down into the crowd and get a general feel of why people are there, why it's important for them to have come out, given that this 6-person rule has been placed into effect off the back of the last Trafalgar Square one. There was definitely more than 20,000 people there last Saturday, and it's anticipated to be at least double that this week. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of people that are awake to speak to.
Right on.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way,
that's not the only thing going on this week.
Oh, what's the only thing? What else?
Yeah, there is also a massive up in Liverpool for Save Our Children as well, where they are having people giving their testimonies, and it's going to be kind of groundbreaking what's going on there. So that's going to be from 1 p.m. At St George's Hall in Liverpool, and then straight after that in Manchester. At Piccadilly Gardens, Manchester Town Hall, Rise Up for Our Future and Unite, and that is Save Our Children. I believe it's Stand Up X as well, Unite for Freedom, and another one that I just can't remember off the top of my head. And then there is another one again in London on the 10th of October as well. That's at Speaker's Corner.
Cool.
So that's the next 3 things I'm going to be doing.
Well, you're pretty busy, and you got who's the person that's doing your camera work now?
Yeah, Goddess Nut. She's not necessarily doing my camera work. She's just collaborating. She's an amazing content maker herself, and very, very much awoke to all of the things that we're awake to. And she's just started making content recently. And, you know, we are trying to give her as much encouragement as we can to get out there and do what she's doing, because she's very unique. In the sense where she goes on her unicycle and she can kind of get up into the mix very, very quickly. So yeah, please make sure you pay attention to Goddess Nuts channel for all of her updated uploads, because she's right in the thick of it as well. And if you want to see what's been going on in London, that's a pretty good place to go.
Right on. And that was her unicycle that I saw you actually.
Yeah, it's hard. It's really hard.
Yeah, you didn't crash. I was impressed.
Yeah, it's super hard though. It really is. Like, shout out to everybody who's learned how to do that, because it is freaking hard.
You know, Cammie rides she knows how to ride a unicycle. She has one. When I helped her house,
She's in the cool club then.
Yeah.
She's seriously cool club.
Definitely.
Does not surprise me at all, though, by the way, that Cammie has a unicycle, because she is a very unique person.
Yes.
And Cammie, you know what I mean when I say that. If anything happens to Bob, just give me a call. So, hey, also real quick, are you happy? Hopefully Bob's asleep at this point. Are you, one other question before I get into the questions from people?
Yeah.
Are you happy with your new computer? Is it quiet? Is it fast? Does it do everything you ever hoped?
Can you hear it?
No, I can't.
It's a winner.
Well, I'm very happy for you. I'm glad that you pushed your machines pretty hard.
Oh my goodness, this one was punching above its weight for the past 12 months. How it survived, I do not know, but it is working like a dream. It's literally the best thing since sliced bread.
Hey, wait, is that a British saying or is that an American?
It is. It may be just
British
an international saying, but we do say it a lot here in Britain.
Yeah. We say it. Everybody says it, I think.
Yeah. What are the best things since bubble gum? One of those two. I had a history teacher said it a lot.
Bubble gum.
We have a request from one of our Navy guys who says, "Hey, can Roxanne do a Northern England accent?"
Do you mean like that? Do you mean Northern like that?
Like most of the people talking Game of Thrones.
Hey up, lad. What's to do, pet? Or like, do you want like over the borders? Because I can talk like that as well. I can do a wee Scottish voice like this, and I can just stay talking like this to you, Karen, and you, Mark, and I'll just stay like this because I'm just great. That's me now. Is that you now? Because that's me now.
Love it. I absolutely love it. I'm surprised that when you didn't do your, or maybe you did. I should rewatch it if it's still out there. When you were going off on your big rant against Dell, did you start slipping into his accent, or are you just straight up just doing you?
I was tempted. But I didn't know if that was going too far at the time. But thankfully, I put that Roxanne in a box. She doesn't come out anymore. We said goodbye to her at the end of 2018.
That was so brilliant. Seriously, that's what caught my eye the first time. It's like, what is she doing?
That Roxanne every now and then. The same that Roxanne is hanging out with the Karen who threatens to cut people.
You know when you have to do it for not your own safety as well as everyone else's safety. You're like, yo, we've got to put you in a box. Yeah, I feel you on that one, Karen. I really do.
And you two got to hang out over at the conference I didn't go to.
Yeah. Amsterdam.
Yeah.
That was a trip. That was like, it was awesome. It truly, truly was awesome. Amsterdam was like one of the best things that happened that year.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Very, very cool.
I remember walking through the middle of I have to say this because it was one of those stories that you just couldn't make up. And I know that I wasn't crazy because the people that were there saw the same thing I did. I didn't see it on my own. But obviously Amsterdam, you know what you do in Amsterdam stays in Amsterdam. But yeah, let's just say few people were quite high. Yeah.
Really? In Amsterdam?
Looking for somewhere to eat.
No, I don't.
Really? Yeah. And we took a couple of lefts. We took a couple of rights. It's a big place. Once you kind of part ways with people, you wouldn't expect to bump into them again. But lo and behold, we went round a couple of lefts and rights and we bumped into a Smurf, a blue Smurf.
A blue Smurf.
And myself and Ruben, we were looking at each other and we were like, yo, do you see that Smurf there? He was like, yeah, I see it. And then we literally walked around the corner and bumped into Jaren, and everyone was like, rah, look, we're in Amsterdam, like, bumped into you though. And they saw the Smurf as well. So we know we weren't tripping. Wow. There was really a Smurf just bopping around the street. So yeah, that seems to stick out for some reason. I don't know why. The Smurf, I just think of Amsterdam and think of the Smurf. But the convention bit, the camp bit, that was great. That was great. I didn't really want to leave, to be honest with you.
Oh, I'm jealous. All right, let's pick up a couple calls. First one out of 715, could be the middle of the country, not really sure. 715, it's you, me, Karen B, and Roxanne, the globalist denier. Are you there?
Hello.
What's happening?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can.
Hey, Marcus. I'm sorry.
Mark and Karen and
a couple
Roxanne.
months ago, I sent you an email about something I've been seeing in the sky since March. Did you get the email, or you have a chance to read it? I've been watching these things.
I get a lot of emails. I probably did, but go ahead and recap it real fast for us.
Basically, I call it what I've been seeing in the night sky since March, and they're actually like a plus sign or a cross. Yeah. It's got a red light on the top usually. And I've been trying to get a hold of you to get your audience to get some eyes in the sky. Actually, it's a good thing I got someone from the UK that maybe they can check the night sky and see what's going on out there.
What time of night? Action in the sky? North, south, east, west, near any particular constellation? Is it consistent at all?
Okay. Well, if you go out tonight, you look at the moon, go 20 degrees to the left, and you'll see something there.
All right.
Actually, I've seen at least 6 of these things, and they're actually, the red light I saw one time was rotating in a clockwise fashion. Kind of looked like it was building to or adding on to these things. And I'm wondering if this is Space Force or if this is the Google balloons out there.
No, I don't think it's Space Force, but we will absolutely. So 20 degrees, I'm sorry, to the left of the moon?
Yeah.
All right.
Tonight.
Yeah, we'll have some people go out and take a look.
That's one.
Yeah.
But there's also 2 more in the sky. One's to the east and one's to the west.
Okay.
And there's another thing I sent you a couple of years ago. I sent you a map about the location of the pyramids based on GPS.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that, but
from a couple of years ago, my memory's good, but it's not that good.
Mark remembers every email he ever got in his entire life ever.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you. So nice of you. No, but yeah,
well,
I'll tell you what, do me a favor. Send me the one on the pyramids again. We will have people go out and guys, if you're outside, look outside and tell me if you see anything to the left or right of the moon, or anything weird in the night sky. But we're looking for is the red dot blinking?
No, it's steady, but it sometimes rotates around these figures, and I've been seeing at least 5 of them in the night sky since March.
Okay. We'll go out and take a look. But go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. You keep cutting out here for some reason. But I want not to sing the New York song.
Okay, I will not sing the New York song tonight. How's that? All right. Well, thank you, and we'll go out and take a look. Thank you very much for calling in. The red light. Turn off the red light. They can see it. Okay. Anyway, let's go to the red light. God, idiots. Let's do California. 530. You're on with you, me, Karen B, and Roxanne, the globalist denier from the UK. What's happening?
Oh, hey, Mike. It's William from Luxley.
It's
real
Mark.
quick. Is it okay? I back up. I'm having a late tea, a spot of tea, and I would like to finish, but I'd love to talk later if possible.
What are you having a go at me right now? Having a go?
Yeah, well, I'm being dead serious, but in the spirit of the program, yes, sir.
What's happening?
Sorry. Hey, Mark. But I just finished cooking, and I want to eat, and then I'll talk. If that's cool.
You're not having a pint and some crisps.
Well, I thought tea was British for having dinner. I thought that's what you call dinner over there.
Yeah, that can be used. Yeah.
That's how Anthony
It is, right?
calls dinner. He says tea. I'll talk to him sometimes, and he'll be chowing down. He'll be like, "I'm having tea."
Oh.
Yeah. I thought it was weird, but I thought it was correct. But yeah, next couple callers, if you don't mind.
Yeah, by the way, bonus points if you have any questions or any British comments and or insults. What? I'm just saying.
Have you met the Queen?
No.
What was the is it Prince Albert in a can? Is that one of those jokes? Do you have Prince Albert in a can? That's a food product, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
You know what? It's all good. I'll talk. Who cares about my dinner? I'm fat. I can do it.
Where are you, by the way? We're picking up some wind, man.
Oh, it's just my air conditioner because I'm trying to keep the smoke out of my apartment. I'm in Northern California.
Oh, okay.
It's William.
So you're on fire. That's awesome. All right.
Well, it's smoky, but yeah. And I was looking for that red dot above the moon, and I can't see anything. It's kind of smoky.
Well, I told him to turn it off, and yeah, the smoke's not going to help.
Yeah. So hey, Roxanne, how's it going?
It's going good. It's going good. Thank you for asking.
Excellent. So very interesting today. I went to my local grocery store that allows me to not wear a mask. And guess what's roaming the aisles?
Smurf?
Security.
Oh, security's in the aisles?
Security. Yep, security had a shirt on, a mask on, and they were waiting at the door when I walked in. I'm like, don't tell me. But I just gave them a nod, and they nodded back. And it's a small town, so I know everybody, but I'm wondering if they're going to start cranking down the screws. And that guy's going to start telling people to come in. But I don't know. But there is security now in the stores, which is, to me, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, by the way, shoplifting, as people, not to go down the doom and gloom path, but as people start running out of money, crime rates will go up, and shoplifting is one of the easiest things to slip into.
And everybody's wearing a mask.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Karen, how's it going?
Great.
Excellent. Just wanted to say hi. I don't have a whole lot. I think the whole world's lost its damn mind. So that's all I got.
All right.
Really. We'll see. Come November, we'll see. Right? I don't know. Between November and when he takes office, or does not take office, or gets forced out, or whatever happens. That's
No, it's going to be a show, man. It's going to be fantastic. It'll be seriously. There will be.
It will make the Super Bowl look like a puppy show.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, states will break ranks. I guarantee it. There will be states that say, "Oh no, we haven't counted all the votes yet," and they will dig in their heels. And Peanut Gallery says the Puppy Bowl is awesome.
Well, by the time I get to vote after work, I already know who's the president. In California. By the time I get off work and get over there 8 p.m., every time it's been already decided. So,
Yeah. Again, we'll see. All right, man. Hey, you have a good one. We'll talk soon.
All right. You have a good one.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Peace out.
Let's jump over to 802, completely on the other end of the country. Maybe in Vermont, maybe not. 802, are you there? Are you listening? Or are we talking about something?
Hello.
Hello.
Am I okay? I was going to call in about a mask story, but I got distracted by the unicycle.
It's
I
a
encourage
Michael.
everybody.
Yeah.
I encourage everybody to learn how to ride a unicycle, and it's not dangerous. You're not going to break your leg. A bicycle is more dangerous.
I lost 3 family members
I just
to
had
a unicycle, but thank you. Go ahead.
Regarding the masks, I take like Ubers and Lyfts to go here and there.
Yeah.
And twice the driver did not have a mask, and I get in the back seat, and and I've got a gator, one of those,
Yeah, no, I've got nothing but gators.
And-
Go ahead.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, you're not wearing a mask. He's like, yeah, I don't give a shit. I'm like, oh, thank God. And I pull it down so I can breathe. Anyway, that was my story. But I got distracted by the whole unicycle thing. And by the way, Roxanne, it's amazing. This has been an amazing interview, and kudos to all.
Aw, cheers.
Thank you.
I mean, everything I need.
Suck up. Oh, I cut him off. Suck it up to Roxanne just because she has a nice voice. Karen has a nice voice too. Nobody wants to say anything about my voice. That's fine. That's fine. I'm not bitter. Let's do.
There are people who like your voice, Mark, but they're asleep right now.
Thank you. Well, no, I've heard that I actually put people to sleep, and I get it now. I was listening to a couple of my rants this afternoon. I was kind of, reviewing one of them, and I actually started nodding off. I get it. Totally get it. I hypnotize people.
You're funny.
It's true. I do. I hypnotize people. And then, I should be putting more things, subliminal hot sex messages into my stuff, and I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go back over to the other side of the country. We're just going to ping pong this. Let's do 425. 425 Washington. So what's happening?
Hey, Mark.
Hey.
Hey, man. Calling you from Seattle,
Right
out
on.
of the West Coast.
That's good. So you've been part of the riots. Are you part of Antifa right now? That's what's happening?
So I got a good one for you. Just ping ponging on what you just said. Okay,
Yeah.
so you're so smooth, Mark. You're so smooth. You remind me of this guy. I used to live in San Diego. Okay,
Yeah.
there was a guy, Lights Out Jazz, Art Good coming at you with the Lights Out Jazz tracks. You're like that. You're the Art Good of the Flat Earth.
Thanks. I always fashioned myself after Johnny Fever from the old television show WKRP.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're coming about
no,
you.
really, seriously, man. I think you have a natural talent. That's all, man.
Thank you. Well, it helps that I did thousands and thousands of hours of phone tech support. I never did any of that chat crap or any of the other stuff. It was always straight up phone stuff. And but thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Right. Well, we got a mutual friend. I'll piggyback on that on my shout out. But okay, so back to the flat Earth.
Yeah.
I got a burning question for you, Mark.
Oh,
okay,
boy.
so I'm tracking the sun for the last 2 months. It's been sunny here in Seattle this year,
Yeah.
except for when they're flying. But just saying.
Right.
I've been tracking the sun.
Yeah.
And so so we see it as it circles the plane, right?
Yeah.
It's circling. So we always see it to our south, right? And it comes around. Okay, so if it's high noon in New York, or say the East Coast,
Right.
or noon, 1 o'clock, right? So that's like 9 o'clock our time, right, on the West Coast. And I noticed right here, I'm in Kirkland, so it's like 1:30 p.m. for the last 2 months. The sun is high noon, if you will. It's like 1:30 p.m. Straight up and down, right?
Okay.
But we're on the very far end of the Pacific time zone. We're on the western side of that, right?
True.
Okay, so if you figure, here's the burning question: is how far is the sun from the plane, and then how fast is it going? And I figure, okay, well, if it's 4 time zones and 2,400 miles from New York to Seattle, roughly, that's about 600 miles an hour, roughly, right?
Right. So yeah.
And so, how high is it though?
Karen, feel free to jump in if you want. For me, I always defer this one to Rob Skiba and others because they've spent more time on it than I have. I mean, I've heard anywhere from 1,000 miles to 3,000 miles. And of course, the size also comes into play. It's okay, is it 50 miles wide? Is it 70 miles wide? Is it bigger? Is it smaller? Not really sure. Karen, you got any thoughts?
Yeah, that's the same thing. The sun, there's no way to verify the size of the sun because it's up in the sky and we can't get there and we can't put a tape measure on it. So we don't know how big it is. Therefore, we can only measure it in degrees, in movement. So that's why people say 15 degrees per hour, which varies supposedly depending on where you are on the plane or the ball. Doesn't matter, either model. It changes supposedly. So, it's there's no way to tell.
Yeah, 15 degrees per hour. That's what I noticed. 10 to 15 degrees per hour. Yeah, I've been tracking that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, here's what I noticed. Okay, with all this smoke in the air here this last week, right, on the Pacific coast, the sun, I could look right at it, right? Mark, the orange sky that one day and everything, you can look at it.
I remember.
Whatever, you can barely see.
Yeah.
It's about the same size as the moon, man. If you can really, it really is about the same size as the moon.
Yeah, but that's
so
just
the burning question is, how far is it from us? They both seem about the same size, and they both seem about the same distance. Frankly.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. Even though scientifically speaking, supposedly it's just a coincidence. I got into a discussion with a couple science teachers last week where they were saying, I said, isn't that an amazing coincidence that the moon fits exactly in front of the sun because it's 400 times more narrow than the sun and 400 times closer. It's like, wow, what are the odds?
Yeah.
And they said, well, it's a coincidence. I go, you mean like the fact that we only see exactly the same side of the moon? It doesn't even shift a quarter of a degree in 100 years. We only see it's like it's locked in. It's like, wow. Oh, hey, we're going to break. So thanks very much for calling. And Roxanne, you want to stay for the last segment?
Yes,
yeah, see, she's not a wanker at all. Might be a bird, though. A bird's a pretty woman, right?
You are now tuned into the truth frequency.
Your protection from deception. TLR.
Truth Frequency Radio.
Welcome back to Strange. Oh, wow, my voice just cracked. Excuse me.
Oh.
I know, not enough water. I wasn't hydrating.
Baby.
We were coming back from an hour of playing all your cool jazz favorites. It's you, me, Karen B. It's part 4 of 4. We do have Roxanne Glenn with us from the UK. And before we take a few more calls, we ought to give Roxanne a chance to plug everything that is you. So where can we see all your stuff?
Yeah, you can see all my stuff at www.thereallywokeshow.com.
That's it? ReallyWokeShow.com?
You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Facebook. If you go to the website, you can see most of the recent content there. If you go to my YouTube page, which is Really Woke Roxanne, you can find all of my other social media links right there on my YouTube page. That's Really Woke Roxanne or www.reallywokeshow.com.
And Peanut Gallery says all her stuff, he's trying to turn it into a sex thing. No, I didn't mean stuff like it's an X-rated site. It's not an adult video site, dude. Oh my God. Why do I do that? I need new friends. And by the way, for those of you who are going to eventually email me, no, I do not know Roxanne's lineage. You're going to look at her and you're going to go, where is she from exactly? It's like, I have no idea.
People really weird me out with that. I don't know why that comes up so quickly with people, why they're so quick to go.
I get that a lot too. I get that a lot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you do. Well, yeah, you would too, Karen. You guys have this coloring that's You know, the
Yeah,
dark and
we're probably related and we don't even know it, Karen.
could be dark and mysterious.
Oh,
Okay.
Both from greatness.
You know it.
No doubt. Absolutely no doubt. Said Karen from the Karen B Show. Okay, okay. I'm looking at my list. Where should we go? Tell you what, let's pick up one from, because we are talking to Roxanne. By the way, bonus points if you ask Roxanne a question and or make fun of England. Let's pick up something from the Crown. So we're going to go to Vancouver, British Columbia. 6:04. You were talking to me and Karen B and Roxanne. What's up?
Hi, it's Jen from Vancouver. Hi, Roxanne. Hi, Mark. Hi, Karen. How are you?
Good.
Hi.
What's on your mind?
I'd love to come down to Flattober. Pardon me?
Go ahead.
Oh, I'd love to come down to Flattoberfest, but I can't. I don't know what the quarantine rules would be. You have to quarantine if you come into the States for 14 days?
I don't. The last I heard, they were actually shooting Canadians that crossed the border, but I don't know. I could be wrong.
Really?
Stop it.
What? It's not true?
Okay. Well,
what? They're
actually
using rubber bullets. I didn't say they were killing them. They're just wounding them.
Yeah. Well, that day our premiers called a provincial election.
Yeah.
So that was a surprise. Yeah. The question for Roxanne is, my cousin said that John Cleese was or something in England now. I didn't know what that was all about.
Really?
John Cleese?
Yeah. Yeah, all his shows and stuff, of the racism and all that.
Peanut Gallery, look that up. Is John Cleese from Monty Python, is he banned in places? Is he actually living on the island of Cyprus right now?
Oh,
in a hut?
For his sake, I hope not.
Why, is something wrong happening at Cyprus?
Yeah.
I think the weather's nicer in England right now. I don't know, maybe.
All I know is Fawlty Towers was removed. Fawlty Towers was removed. So it's quite difficult to get those, but I'm not really sure about him.
Yeah, okay, so Fawlty Tower, John Cleese. Oh, okay, so John Cleese went after, excuse me, the BBC because they removed a Fawlty Towers episode because they thought it contained racial slurs. Now, granted, this was a 1975 episode.
I remember the one. It was when he was. But you remember when he went the Germans? Does anyone remember that one? No.
I did watch quite a bit of Fawlty Towers, and I'm sure you're spot on. But yeah, but of course John Cleese is going to defend the show. Why wouldn't he? I think he ended up being like one of the executive producers before it was over.
Wasn't his wife in it as well?
Yeah.
She was the maid, wasn't she? His
Yeah,
wife.
Yeah.
The blonde girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Connie Booth. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, he was really funny.
Oh yeah, so John Cleese.
My uncle thought he was Go ahead.
Oh, John Cleese said he was talking about the BBC, and he goes, but it's not just it's now run by a mixture of marketing people and petty bureaucrats. It used to have a large sprinkling of people who actually made programs, not anymore. So yeah, he says that's why they're so cowardly and gutless and contemptible. So yeah, he's got an opinion on this. Yeah, I can see why John Cleese is having a hard time right now. The BBC does not love him. So.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I was wondering about that. Yeah.
Anything else?
My girlfriend sent me a funny joke. I'm a dog person, although I lost my dog in July, and it was a cartoon, and it had these three boxers, and it said the World Health Organization has finally ruled that you don't have to quarantine dogs anymore. So who let the dogs out?
Oh.
God.
Tell your friend not to send you any of those anymore. That is what is known as a groaner. Oh.
Okay.
That's fine.
Oh, I liked it because it has boxers in it and stuff.
Aww.
Yeah. Anyway, they're fining people really in Quebec. Somebody was threatened with a really big fine, and there was a car show, which of course I like Mustangs, and Doug Ford threatened the organizer with a $10,000 fine, and of course our car club here, we can't get together anymore, and it's really kind of restrictive. But my neighborhood, not a lot of people wear masks when they're out walking, which is great, and I have a breathing condition, so I have a hard time with it.
Well,
and
I hope that continues. But again,
Go
ahead.
I just wanted to wish you all the best with Flattoberfest. And one other thing is that I think I've got my pastor on board. He wants more. I send him a lot of stuff, and he has a degree in physics, and that was kind of impressive. I was really happy about that.
That is impressive.
So my family is another matter.
Yeah, you got to be careful. The holiday seasons are coming up, and again, I have to recommend to people, don't think that you can just walk into the family dinner over turkey or whatever you're having and, just come out and say that you're into flat earth. You got to ease into it. You gotta gently ease into it.
That's right.
Because otherwise it goes. Look, I've been watching this thing happen for the last 4 years. Never ends well. I know you visualize it like, oh, your family. It's like, wow, that's really interesting. Tell us more. No, they'll be calling the health services line, and they're going to try to fit you for a jacket or some meds or both.
Yep, so. That's for sure.
Right. Yeah, been there, done that.
All right. Well,
but one thing I was going to ask: has anybody gone around the perimeter of Antarctica, like to just measure the distance, or keep turning left or keep turning right, whichever way you go?
No one from our side.
As long as you don't go within the.
Well, they bumped out the distance, so you can't. You're not even allowed. The Antarctic Treaty now extends beyond visual range of the coastline.
Yeah, 60th parallel.
There you go,
really?
60th parallel. Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah, and they don't even, and they banned drones back in end of 2016, 2017. Oh, that was a nice little.
People started getting drones.
Well, yeah, as soon as they started getting drones, they started banning them. It's like for environmental reasons. Anyway, thank you very much, BC, and we'll be talking to you soon. Okay.
Okay.
All right. See ya.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Let's go to. I'm trying to do the math on this one. How many more calls can we take? 3 more. You hanging in there, Roxanne?
Yep.
All right. Roxanne's playing games right now, I'm pretty sure. 440, you're on with you, me, Karen B, and Roxanne Glenn, the dynamo from the UK.
Hey, you guys. This is Tyler here in Ohio. I actually have a question about the Antarctic Treaty.
Yeah?
You guys all right?
I got to be honest with you, man. Can't hear you that great.
Okay, I'm really sorry. I'm trying to find out what countries are and are not a part of the Antarctic Treaty.
Every country that signs on as an economic power has to sign the treaty. Everybody has to sign on. So if you're trading on a world level, oh God, I gotta mute him. Wow. Sorry, don't know what was happening if he was calling me while actually leaning outside of his car window, but it was bad. But to answer him, because I know he's still listening, is every country, second you become an economic power at all, you immediately have to sign the treaty. And that's been the same way since the original 9 or 12 signed it back in 1959. So that's all I can tell. I'm sorry, did you have something to add, Karen? No.
I said yep.
Oh, well, that was Roxanne. Let's do Kansas City. Yeah. Let's do 913. 913, you're on with Strange World. What are we talking about?
What's up, Mark, Karen, and Roxanne? How are you guys doing?
Good.
All good.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is Alex from Brooklyn. I caught on to the broadcast a little bit late, so like if I missed this part talking about it, sorry. Corbett dropped Flat Earth recently. Did you guys hear this?
No, did not hear that.
Dave Weiss put out a thing tonight. He said he did it in a very clever way. He didn't endorse it by any stretch, but he put it in a certain way where you actually, even though he keeps a globe behind him every time he broadcasts, and I always thought this about him anyway, I think because he's a smart dude and he does great research, and I was like, this guy can't not know about flat Earth, right? He's still keeping his globe behind him. He did drop it, and Weiss has got a piece on it, so you guys should check that out. That's the first thing I want to talk about.
Okay.
You guys can talk about it after I get off. Secondly, I am so excited. I got my Flattober ticket today and bought my plane ticket, and I'm going to meet all of you people for the first time in 4 years. I've been flat since 2017, and I can't even tell you how excited I am.
Awesome!
Yay!
Good for you.
Great.
Yeah. It was really something. I've been hosting meetups in Brooklyn for the last 3 years. Mark, you've been posting some stuff for me, just as far as promoting the events and whatnot. So I finally get to meet some of you cats.
Yeah.
I'm super excited. And lastly, Roxanne, third. I didn't catch the first part of the interview, so I'm sorry. But if you did go to is it Trafalgar Square? Trafalgar Square? How do I say that?
Trafalgar.
How was it?
I personally haven't been to the recent Trafalgar one. I've viewed it from a safe distance. My first Trafalgar one will be this weekend. But from speaking to people that have been there, it's been truly, truly electric. There was nearly 40,000 people at the end of last month, and there was over 20,000 people there gone, and there's expected to be even more people there this weekend.
I'm so excited about that. I mean, there's not a peep on American media, clearly, for it at all.
They're all
There's
complicit.
1 million plus in Berlin. Yeah, it's like nobody is talking about it. I'm like, any other news day, in Berlin, there was 1 million people, at the Reichstag and down that big avenue there, and they didn't report anything. They reported
That's
nothing.
right.
So I'm really curious to what's happening over there and what you guys, tell us more. What's going on over there.
Awesome. We the people are the news now.
For real.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it. That's all I got. You guys take care of the call. I love you guys. I can't wait for Flattober. Cheerio.
All right.
Bye.
Cheerio.
Cheerio.
Don't forget your culture on the way out, darling.
Get a nice bit of culture.
Yeah. Healthy dose of culture. Get some culture, y'all.
Hell. Karen, I don't think that's cricket. You know what I'm saying?
Cricket.
Oh my goodness.
Only cricket I know is the ones I munch on every time I get too high. All right, let's do. You know what? We'll make this the last call of the evening, and then we'll finish up with a couple minutes of Roxanne and Karen and me. So let's go out to 845, and because I promised not to sing New York, New York.
Do you always do what you're told, Mark?
The what?
Do you always do what you're told?
No, not always. Zulu, you got some feedback, by the way. Don't know what... Zulu?
Oh, sorry.
Right. All right.
Can you hear me?
And you're going to have to finish this one, because I'm not going to sing the normal song. The sun'll come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow...
There'll be sun
There you go.
tomorrow.
Well, yeah. Tomorrow.
Oh God.
What's happening, Zulu?
Hi, Mark. Hi, Karen. Hello, love. Hi, Roxanne.
Hello.
You're awesome. You're just the best. You are the best. and everyone in Britain has sexy accents, even Sleeping Warrior. Just everybody.
That's true. You don't hear a lot of people complaining about the British accent. It always comes off with more credibility. British scientists.
Yes.
I mean, seriously, they always. It's always this. It's the top of the accents in upper class. It's like, oh, they're British. They must be more refined. Even though You run into somebody that's got 3 teeth in their whole head, look like they came out of a chimney. It's like, freshen your drink, governor. One of those deals. Anyway, what do you got, Zulu?
Oh, man. Hey, I got a quote for Roxanne. You might know who it is. Politics is more dangerous than war, for in war you are only killed once.
Oh, good.
Nice.
Winston Churchill.
Nice. Me old mucker.
And I got a quote for you, Mark.
Shoot.
If everyone is out to get you, paranoia is only a good thing, or is only good thinking. And that was Johnny Fever, actually.
Oh, you get a Johnny Fever quote. Nice.
Yeah.
Not
I went out and looked. I had no moon.
Oh, you were looking for the spaceship with the red light?
Yeah. I had no moon. It was out earlier today, around 5-ish, and it was still light out.
Peanut Gallery
I actually took a picture.
Peanut Gallery chimes in and says, "This is for you, Zulu, in all caps. It's Dr. Johnny Fever, damn it." So, just so you know. Yeah.
Hey, he's always right.
Well, he does. See, he gets to do research while we're talking, so he can. Of course, he's going to be right. He's like Alex Trebek on Jeopardy. He's always right. That's why Alex always says, "Sorry, the correct answer was." It's like, wow. He gets to go home every night thinking he's right about everything.
You actually knew all that.
Yeah.
Right. Like you actually knew all that. Come on.
You want to punch him.
Yeah. So how you doing, Ron? It's crazy here too. I can't imagine the stuff you're going through. I mean, here at least we have pockets where people are like, "Fuck you, come and take me off my lawn," and but that's just crazy. I can't imagine that overreaching.
That's a good question for Roxanne. Roxanne, are there any? I know the UK is much smaller, but are there any? Have you heard of any rumors of little towns or whatever you have up there, where people are just like, yeah, we're just not going to follow the rules? Have you heard of any of that?
Can I say there's like pockets of towns where people are not complying? Not sure I can vouch for any of that, but I can vouch for physically having seen thousands of people out on the streets. Even in Liverpool, I've seen thousands out on the streets, saying I'm not down for that. I've seen thousands walking down Oxford Street saying, yeah, we're not down for that. Gotcha. So collaboratively speaking, I've seen more than 5 figures out there in pockets of the country. But no, the silent majority is becoming louder every day.
Wow. I was thinking more along the lines of, like, here we have local sheriff's departments that just don't enforce things in small towns. Like, yeah, we're not even going to deal with this. Our town has enough stuff to worry about. We're gonna, if you don't bother us, we're not going to bother you. But in your case, it sounds like, because your protests are we don't even have really mask protests here anymore. We deliberately, I think, because of the whole BLM thing that took over, because it's tough to do any sort of anti compliance protests, because you're worried that it might conflict with somebody that's going to be setting a fire later.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And I think at that point, we will get to the point where people realize it's all poppycock, and they stop putting the masks on, because they'll realize that there is no virus, and then it's a pure political move.
Yeah.
I would love for that to happen.
Yeah, it's despicable.
ASAP.
Yeah. It'd be nice. Although over here we know full well it's going to be the status quo at least until the election, in which case a fresh new hell is going to be rolled out. We don't even know the name for it yet.
They said today that there's no way they're going to have a vaccine by the time election day. So they're already pushing that back, but still using that as a bargaining chip.
Oh yeah.
It's so despicable. It's diabolical. I mean,
they're going to play out the playbook all the way to Anarchy 99 when he wins.
Yeah.
They'll play it out all the way. Right? They're fighting for their lives. The cabal have been ingrained for such a long time. They're the people that taught us the lie. that we're living in modern day. And they lost that seat when he went in office. Don't know who asked him to go in office, but whoever asked him to go in office has pissed the deep state off massively.
Yeah.
We're all suffering because of it.
Yep, I agree. What else, Zulu? Because I'm not going to let you close out the show because I want Roxanne to have the last word.
All right. I love you, Roxanne. Keep getting out there, kicking ass. Karen, you're awesome. Mark, you're awesome. Peanut Gallery. Maybe do night school this weekend. Not sure. Schedules have been all crazy. We'll see.
All right.
And shout out to Dottie's World, Informally Hip, Globebusters, everybody in the chat. Love you guys and gals.
Right back at you.
All righty.
All right. See you, Zulu.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. With that, we have 2.5 minutes. We'll let Roxanne have last word. Karen, what's your next thing you have coming up? Do you have anything coming up, or what do you got? What do you want to push?
Yes, I have Unveiling This Realm Thursdays that I do with Brian Stavely. And Bitches Brew, which we just did this last Sunday, but we'll have another one the Sunday after next on my channel. So I've got those two things coming up. And also Flattoberfest. So yes. Flattoberfest.com, www.flattoberfest.com to get tickets and to get updates and information. And you can also message me through there.
Yep. I'm going to be there. Bob, David Weiss, Karen, a whole bunch of people. Justin Bieber, Taylor Swift, Katy Perry, the ghost of Elvis Presley. It's going to be epic. I'm really surprised the media, people haven't applied for press passes. Roxanne, you got 90 seconds. What do you want to, you got any last parting shots, comments?
I do. The We Do Not Consent rally, which is this weekend, the 26th of September. Fellow Brits, are you ready for the biggest act of civil disobedience in our history? The 6-person rule has been announced. Do you have the courage to defy it? That goes for business owners too. If enough of us decide not to obey it, it fails. This is our new Battle of Britain. Done.
Wow. I actually got a little teary just then listening to that. It's good. Yeah, really. It's good.
Definitely be paying attention to what happens over there. It's very important.
Don't just watch what's happening in the United States, even though a lot of people, again, we are the dumpster fire filled with fireworks and laser light show. There are other countries out there that are going through it way worse than us with way worse lockdowns. So with that, and hopefully we'll get you back on soon, Roxanne. I'd love to see, keep us posted on what's happening out there.
Yeah.
But thank you very much for coming on. It was always lovely talking to you.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Very welcome. We'll thank Karen. She's the one that twisted my arm. She says, "You better get her on here. Beat you like a redheaded stepchild." And thank you for all the callers. We'll be back next week. Same flat time, same flat channel. Music will be in a few seconds. Oh, I can't stall for 5 seconds other than to say that...
Big hugs.
Wait, where's my music?
Ah.
Well, I don't control the music. It just happens on its own.
Check out LBRY for my channel. Flattoberfest.com.
And say goodnight, Karen.
Good night, Karen.
Say goodnight, Roxanne.
Good night.
And be safe. Hot sex. Something.
Hot sex.